afternoon, children. Today you will read chemical properties of metals and non-metals. What happens when metal reacts with oxygen? Metal reacts with oxygen to form metallic oxide. And when metallic oxide reacts with water, it forms metallic hydroxide, which is basic in nature. Okay, children? For example, you take a magnesium ribbon and clean it with sandpaper and hold it with a pair of tongs and ignite it. If it is a magnesium ribbon, hold it with a pair of tongs and ignite it. It will burn with a white light and you will get white powder. Collect this powder in a watch glass. This white powder is magnesium oxide. And collect this white powder in a watch glass and add water in the watch glass. Now magnesium oxide will react with water and it will form magnesium hydroxide, which is basic in nature. So we can say metal reacts with oxygen to form metallic hydroxide, metallic oxide, and metallic oxide reacts with water to form metallic hydroxide. And you can say that metallic oxides are basic in nature. We can test it with the help of red litmus paper. Dip one red litmus paper in the watch glass, it will turn to blue. And all of you should know that bases turn red litmus to blue litmus. So we can say that metallic oxides are basic in nature. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxide, and non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Now you take a piece of charcoal. Charcoal is a form of carbon in a deflagrating spoon. Deflagrating spoon means combustion spoon. Okay, a spoon in which combustion takes place. Take a piece of charcoal in a deflagrating spoon and ignite it. This charcoal is a form of carbon. So it will burn and it will produce carbon dioxide. Now bring this deflagrating spoon and put it in a gas jar like this. Okay, take a gas jar and bring this deflagrating spoon, put it in the gas jar. Okay, now this charcoal will burn, it will produce carbon dioxide. Now after some time, remove this spoon and here in this gas jar carbon dioxide is present. You add water and shake the gas jar. Okay, now carbon dioxide will react with water, H2O, and it will form H2CO3, carbonic acid, which is acidic in nature. So we can say that non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxide, and non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Now put this solution in a watch glass and dip one blue litmus paper in it. Blue litmus paper will turn to red, and all of you should know that acid can turn blue litmus to red litmus. So we can say that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. All of you know, children, carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, iodine, all these are non-metals. Instead of carbon, you can take a piece of sulfur also. Sulfur will react with oxygen. It will form sulfur dioxide, and when sulfur dioxide will react with water, it will form sulfurous acid. So non-metallic oxides react with oxygen to form acids. Therefore, you have studied that what happens when metals and non-metals react with oxygen. Children, you have seen metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxide, and metallic oxides reacts with water to form metallic hydroxide. So when you take a piece of magnesium ribbon, you burn it, you ignite it. But if you take a piece of sodium, potassium, calcium, you do not need to ignite it. They can react even at room temperature with oxygen. So sodium, potassium, calcium, They are highly reactive metal. They may react with oxygen even at room temperature, and they also form metallic oxide. Now the next chemical property you will study, that is reaction with water. Now you will see children that some metals react with hot water, some metals react with normal water, some metals react with boiling water, and some metals react with steam, and some metals do not react with water. First of all, you see magnesium. Take a piece of magnesium and clean it with the help of sandpaper. Okay. Now put this magnesium piece in a boiling test tube. This is a boiling test tube. Boiling test tube, and fit it with the help of stand. Now fill this boiling tube with the help of water. Okay. Half fill the boiling tube with water. Now take another boiling tube and invert it over the first boiling tube. Okay children. Now take a spirit lamp and heat this water. What happens when the water becomes hot? Magnesium reacts with hot water, and you can see bubbles are present in the test tube. These bubbles are hydrogen gas. Now remove this inverted test tube and bring one burning splinter near the inverted test tube. You will listen a pop sound. Why it is happening? Because it is the property of hydrogen that it burns with a pop sound. So the gas released is hydrogen gas. You have seen children that magnesium reacts with water to form magnesium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is also released. Mg plus H2O, it will form MgOH whole 2 plus H2. Magnesium reacts with hot water. Now you will see that if you take zinc, you need to boil the water. Zinc will react with boiled water, and iron will react with steam, and sodium and potassium reacts vigorously with water, and a lot of heat energy is produced. This heat energy may cause fire in the hydrogen gas. Okay children, so you have seen sodium and potassium are highly reactive metal. They may react with water vigorously, and they release too much heat energy, and this heat energy due to this heat energy hydrogen can catch fire. This type of reaction is called exothermic reaction, in which a lot of heat energy is released. Endothermic reaction is that reaction in which heat is absorbed. For example, if you take a glass and put glucose in it and add water in it and touch the glass, you will feel that glass is cold. Why? Because reaction is endothermic reaction. Here heat is absorbed. So you have seen that sodium and potassium are highly reactive metal. They may react with normal water vigorously, and they produce lot of heat energy. Due to this heat energy, hydrogen released may catch fire. So sodium and potassium is stored in kerosene or paraffin wax. Zinc reacts with boiling water. Iron reacts with steam, and copper, silver, gold, platinum, they do not react with water. So children, you can conclude that some metals are highly reactive, some are less reactive, some are least reactive. Non-metals do not react with water. So some non-metals are stored in water, because these non-metals may react with oxygen to form oxide, like phosphorus can catch fire when it is kept in the open place. It may react with oxygen, and it may form phosphorus pentoxide, and it may catch fire. So phosphorus is stored in water. Okay children, so some reactive nonmetals are stored in water to prevent their reaction with air. For example, phosphorus. Why phosphorus is kept in water? To prevent its reaction from air. Now Reaction with acid. Metals react with acid to form salt and hydrogen gas is also released. Some metals react with dilute acid. Most of the metals react with dilute acid. Some metals react with concentrated acid. All of you know, children, dilute and concentrated acid. In dilute acid is such acid in which more content of water is there. Okay, children. So now you will see reaction of iron with dilute hydrochloric acid. Take iron nail, some iron nail, and clean it with sandpaper, because you know iron may react with air and it may form iron oxide. A brown covering rust is formed, that is iron oxide. So take some iron nail and clean it with sandpaper and put these iron nails in a test tube. Again you take a test tube and fit it with the help of stand. Fit it with the help of stand and put iron nail in this test tube. Okay, children, before putting in the test tube you have to clean it with sandpaper. Now add dilute hydrochloric in this test tube. Take another test tube and invert it over the first test tube. Okay, children. Now after some time you will see bubbles are produced. Now remove this inverted test tube and bring one burning splinter or burning matchstick. Again it will burn with a pop sound, because when iron will react with dilute hydrochloric acid, it will form iron chloride and hydrogen gas is also released.